everybody, I'm Amy Spanger, and I play Mrs. Wormwood in Matilda, the musical on Broadway, and we are coming to you live from the scene on Facebook. Oh my god, I can't believe I'm live right now. This is crazy. I hope I don't swear too much. I won't. But you're live at the Schubert Theater. I'm getting ready for my matinee today. I'm really excited to be here, and I want you guys to send questions down below. Send your questions. I might answer them. This is gonna be fun. What? So I'm gonna put on some makeup. What? This is what I do in my dressing room when I'm getting ready for the show. So some of the questions we've already received, well, one of them is, how did I get my start? And the first Broadway show I ever saw was Into the Woods, which was amazing, with Bernadette Peters when I was 15. And that was my first visit to the city. And I actually saw that musical at the Martin Beck Theater. And fun fact, the first lead I ever played was in Kiss Me Kate on Broadway, the revival, and I did that at the same exact theater where Bernadette Peters played, and it was really special. So, but anyway, I came to visit when I was 19. I'd always like kind of performed and sang, and I was like kind of like a cut up in my family, and but I didn't really understand that it could be like a living that somebody could actually have. Like, so when I was 19, I came to visit New York, and I came home after that visit, and I told my parents that I wanted to move to New York at 19 and be a star on Broadway. And my mother said I had to wait until I was 21. So when I was 21, I took $2,000 out of my hometown bank. I met somebody over the summer, and who was a friend of a friend, and she got an apartment on 108th and Broadway, a one-bedroom apartment, and we moved in together in September. I gave myself 3 years to get on Broadway, and I did it in 2 years and 10 months. And yes, Lisa. Okay. We have our first question. Let me see. This is how this is how I put on my makeup. Yes, this is how I put on my makeup, Lisa. Thanks for asking. Oh, hey, Katie. My lovely hairdresser is here. Come on in, Katie. What's up, girl?
How you doing, girl?
How you doing? So she's bringing in the wig that I wear in the show, and it is a beast.
It is a beast.
Of a wig. She's beautiful, but she's real heavy, and she's ripped my hair out just a little bit. So Katie comes and does a lovely hair prep for me daily, so she's here to do that hair prep. I'm running a little bit behind with my makeup because I'm live on Facebook, and it's really exciting. So the first show I ever performed in on Broadway was Sunset Boulevard. So I gave myself 3 years to get on Broadway, and I went to an open call, and I sang 16 bars, and then a year later they called me back, and I was, I guess, their first choice to replace Lauren Kennedy on Broadway. And she was the understudy to Betty Schaefer, so I understudied Alice Ripley. So it was my first Broadway show. Betty Buckley was playing Norma Desmond, and the first night I was in the show, Betty has like her big like first act number, and I remember like every person, like the entire cast was on stage at that moment, and we're all faced out, like just facing the crowd, and I was sort of like bearing witness to Betty Buckley having her star moment, and I was like, I want to be where she is. Like I remember having that very like visceral like feeling. So, and I was able to do it. So that's kind of cool. Maxima wants to know, how do you fill time in between shows on a 2-show day? Okay, today is my husband, Brian Shepard's birthday. So we got up today, I made him breakfast, and we're actually gonna go have dinner between. And fun fact, Brian is in Something Rotten on Broadway, so we're actually working on the same block in Broadway shows at the same time, which like has never happened. We've been together for 6 years, and we've never been on Broadway at the same time, but we're actually like working on the same block, so it's soups romantic. Oh my god, it's amazing. So anyways, What else should I talk about here on Facebook Live? So yeah, the very first time I ever took a bow on Broadway was in Sunset Boulevard, and that was really special. And then, so I did that within 3 years of my goal, and then I got, then I did Rent, the first national tour. I played Maureen in Rent in the first national tour. I was the third person to ever play that role, which was kind of awesome. Tanya asks, of 8 shows a week. The hardest part of 8 shows a week, that's a really good question, Tanya, is keeping it fresh, like keeping it like just being in the moment. And like, so what's really fun about this show is that we work with children, and the kids are amazingly talented, and they have this like unbridled enthusiasm constantly. So whenever I'm feeling like, oh, I'm just so tired, I can't do it today, I just sort of like, we all gather on stage before the show, and I just kind of play with the kids before the show and get myself kind of like into that childlike enthusiasm groove. And I have to keep going on my makeup. This is bad. We're behind time. That's a really good question. I just feel like working with the kids kind of helps with that all the time. For me, anyway. And also watching the show, like sometimes I just watch the second act and watch the Matildas do Quiet, and just watch these like 9-year-old girls land like these incredible like moments, like theatrical moments, brilliant like songs. And sorry, it's hard to do my makeup and talk at the same time. We have another question I'm seeing here. Doing a beautiful job on my makeup too. Look at this. She's kind of a beast, Mrs. Wormwood, so that's the start to it. That's the start to the transformation. Lisa asks, favorite moment in the show? I think my favorite moment in the show, I'm not even part of it, and I was just talking about it, it's Quiet. I think that moment where Matilda finally kind of just like breaks out on her own and just has that incredibly tender moment. I just think that is breathtaking, and if you've never seen it before, you have to get here before January 1st, because we're closing on January 1st, so come and see the show. These kids are incredible. Also, I do a number called Loud, which is like maybe the most fun I've had on Broadway ever. I get to do the splits. I get to do a back walkover over a very handsome gentleman's back. His name is Philip Spade. He's hot. So yeah, those are my favorite moments in the show. Good question, Lisa. Thanks for asking. Okay, I'm gonna put these lashes on, and then we're gonna get my hair ready. Are we super behind? What's going on? No, we're good. Okay, so the biggest mistake I've ever made on stage. Well, actually, okay, so something that happened recently was I was exiting a scene in the first act where I walked down the stage right steps, like off of stage. There are these steps that go into the house, into the audience. And there was a playbill sitting on the steps, and I actually like looked down and I saw the rainbow playbill, like the Pride playbill, and I was like, oh, it's so beautiful, rainbow. And then all of a sudden I was like in this woman's lap. I was like, oh, okay. And so that was like super embarrassing, and that happened on Broadway. But then I posted like a picture of myself on Instagram, and the woman was like, she answered back, I was like, I fell into this patron's lap, so that happened. And she was like, I was the person whose lap you fell into. And I was like, thank you so much for breaking my fall. So anyway, that happened. That was pretty funny. Also, when I was doing The Wedding Singer out of town, there's this amazing like moment that happens at the end of the first act where I sort of roll on this platform, and then I twirl into a chair and I pull down on a cord, and the water comes down like Flashdance. And so like we were sort of refining this moment out of town, and my wig got completely knocked off of my head. So, and there was like all this, you know, there were like 2 ways to go. So I was like dancing, twirling, and I was literally like, I put the wig like this, and it was like this. And then, so that happened. question. I'm putting on my lash, but I want to look. I'm going to look at the question. Max asks, is there different chemistry with the different Matildas? Yeah, there is. But they're all different and they're all wonderful. And this is the second group of Matildas that I've worked with. I mean, I have a special place in my heart with all of them. But yeah, like there's different energy. Like Willow is just deeply centered and still, and kind of has an old soul. And Aviva is kind of like a hummingbird kind of energy, and she's kind of wild, and I love that. And should we start my prep? Okay, I have to put this stuff in my hair, which is dry shampoo, just to make my hair a little dirtier, so that the wig doesn't slip out of my hair. And then Ava, I like to call Mini Meryl Streep. Not that the other girls aren't brilliant actresses, because they are brilliant actresses, but I like to call her Mini Meryl Streep because I don't know, she just kind of doesn't miss a beat, like, ever. She's just incredible. And I think she was the first of the three to go on, and I was like, whoa! So yeah, call her Mini Meryl Streep. I probably shouldn't have said that live, but I did! I just did! This is crazy. So yeah, the advice that I would give young performers is, or the advice that I like to give young performers is that they should figure out exactly who they are. I mean, and at whatever stage they are, if you're like 18 years old, like whoever you are at that moment is beautiful and wonderful, and you should just be that, because no one can be you. And also, I think really good advice, and I'm like just kind of getting this now in my old age, is you should figure out how to center yourself before an audition, whether it's like, you know, just like jamming out to whatever kind of music you want to listen to, like in your headphones, like walking in with headphones on, you should do that. Or even like some people just put headphones on and they don't have music on, which I think is really funny. But I found yoga really helps me center myself, because you're gonna be faced with, like, you know, different people in the waiting room, like friends or like people that, you know, you are competitive with. There are going to be all these variables, and you need to just kind of stay the course, stay centered, and just take lots of classes, read lots of plays, go see theater, you know, that kind of thing. So, when in my hair and makeup process do I feel like Mrs. W? I mean, I would say when I get the beast on, which is this wig over here. You'll see. Oh, you'll see. A change will happen. Yeah, I mean, definitely when I get that wig on, I'm like, oh, there she is. So, yeah. If I wasn't acting, I think I would be a chef, because I really love to cook. And I've taken a couple classes, and it's sort of like still creative. So I think I would be a chef. And maybe that would happen someday. Chef Amy. The role I'm dying to play is Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd. Is my favorite musical. I think I have to wait like 20 or 30 years, but that'll happen. So, yeah, it's my favorite musical. Oh, do I seem like a crazy person? Like I'm just talking to myself? So in the shower, what? I like to sing. So I'm a singer for a living, so I don't really like sing songs so much in the shower, unless I'm like preparing for an audition. Then I sing songs in the shower. But I sing I do vocal exercises in the shower by my teacher Liz Kaplan, and those kind of sound like this. Yiggy, 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 yiggy. It's really interesting, isn't it? Thanks, Liz. Taught me everything I know. No, she's an amazing teacher. Oh my God, she's incredible. We have a question. It's the last question. My favorite thing of Matilda is telling this story. I love the story by Roald Dahl. I just think, I think the fact that this kid comes from this home where she's abused and she rises above it. She meets this incredibly nurturing teacher, and she and the teacher kind of like walk off into the sunset together, and she doesn't perpetuate her abuse. She becomes a healer. I think that is just an incredibly powerful story. And, when I saw the show, I was late to the game seeing the show. I saw it last summer before my first audition, and I was completely blown away. I was like, oh my God. I really had no idea what was in store for me. But I just knew, I was like, I have to be a part of this, and even if I have to abuse Matilda in order to do it, then I will do, I will take that role on, and I'm glad to do it, because in order for her to find the life that she wants to find, she has to be abused by me. So I help in a way. Yeah, I help. Let's get this wig on. What? So yeah, I mean, this is the thing. See, now I feel like her. Now Mrs. Wormwood. Here she is. Isn't she beautiful? It's a very subtle look. It's real subtle. I loved your questions. They were so smart. Thank you so much for tuning in and asking me questions. Thank you for watching me on the scene. Please come and see Matilda at the Schubert. It's a beautiful show. My name's Amy Spanger. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah!